On this next video, we are going to be adding a second layer of information, which is the map for the Rainbird Cirrus irrigation system. This map will visually display the irrigation, and you'll have the ability to change heads and details and the data individually on that map. Some things that will call for that is problems, changes of the spray and nozzles, or decoder issues possibly. So with this map, once it's imported, you're going to have options of zooming in. So that's going to be just hitting the zoom here. You can highlight an area and you see it comes in on the green, nice and easy. And then for minimizing it, we're going to just hit the screen, tick it once, and it should go right back out. Dragging the map is also going to be important with this little hand icon. You can just grab it around wherever you need. Also, the last thing is the select area. This is how you're going to help select sprinklers and move them additionally with this toggle switch here that we'll show you how to use later.
Okay, so once we have our course map here, the next step is going to be to label all 18 holes. So what you want to do is go to this pencil compass in the top and go into the course data builder there, and then here we're just going to zoom out a bit so I can see better. And to label a hole such as hole 17, which we're going to label, you click on the hole marker and click on an area beside the hole, and this menu will pop up and you can type in hole 17. And then now course 1, hole 17 pops up there. And you do this for each hole of the 18 on the map. And then the reason that you need to label each hole is that after, when you tie in the green sprinklers and fairway sprinklers, they link directly to the hole that you're on. So that's in the next part of the video. And then also, if you want to go to a specific hole on the map, if you just click on this little green flag in the top here and type in the hole number, it'll bring you to a zoomed in version of that hole, so it's easy to navigate and find the hole you want.
After you have your hole selected, you're going to want to mark all your parts of the hole. So you're going to go up here, select greens. Then once you have that selected, you're going to go down and touch this highlighted H of the hole you want. And up beside the green, you're going to click again, and now your 17th green is labeled. You're going to do that for all parts of your hole. Once you click the H once, you don't have to click it again because it's already on hole 17. Once all those are labeled, you're good to go, and each section will be labeled for specific sprinklers to be put in that section.
Alright, so we're going to continue on in the data builder. And at this point, we're going to start putting in some stations and routers. So you'll go over to the existing tab, click on that. And once you've got that, you've got two options over here. You can add existing stations or add rotors. And we'll start with the existing station. So click on that. And for this example, say we're going to go with the T's. Select that, it turns blue, that way you know you're on the right area. And then you'll select your router, it'll tie it into that or to that location. And you want to skip to every second one. The reason being is when they're paired together, you'll do that in the next step when you add rotors. So here I've accidentally clicked on and I didn't skip properly. So to remove that, you'll hit the X button. You go and select the router that you want to remove. And this pop-up will ask you if you want to delete it. For the time being, make sure that you leave the remove from database unchecked, because if you do that, it'll remove all information. So just leave this unchecked, click yes, and it'll remove that router. Then you can go back to adding stations. All right, so then when we've selected our initial stations, you want to add in the rotors. So select the rotors. go down to your first sprinkler head, select it, it turns blue, and then pair it with the following sprinkler heads. You can do that for each one. In doing so, this signifies that they're all paired. This is not a necessary step if they are singles. So in this case, this one is a single, this one is a single, so you don't need to add rotors there. You can do the same as well if you go to any of the other areas. For example, with the rough here, highlight the letter, and you will start pairing them up as necessary. And as well, same thing, you can pair up the rotors to those sprinklers. This process can be repeated for all areas of your golf course. All right, so if you end up needing to move any of your router locations, you can just use this button right here with the 4 arrows, crosshairs, and just go down to any router. For example, this one right here, select it, hold down your left mouse button, and then you can move your router around as necessary to any location in case it's maybe not where you would like to have it. Carrying on from here, you can start looking into your station detail to see the information that's being added. So if you click back here and go backwards with the arrow, so once you're on this main screen, you can go back to the station detail. And in this case, we're going to go to hole number 17. And if you click on, for example, the tees, this is a cross reference here, 6 tees, and that information should all be verified when you go back to your map diagram. So here you can see the stations tie up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are all part of the tees. So it's a good reference to know that it's all verified and working. If you end up having any issues, you might get some error windows that pop up saying that you're missing routers or locations, and you can add that in either into the database or straight from the map.
So now that we have the stations set up on the greens, I'm going to show you how to do the perimeter stations just because it's a little bit different. So I'm going to go to the Add Existing Station here. We're going to click on the P. And we're just going to put one over here, over there, and say one over here. And we're going to drag these down to where they're going to go. So just down here, just because you can't have them on top of each other. So we're going to drag this one over here. And from here, we're going to add a rotor to it. So we're going to click on the one that we just added, and we're going to say put it over here. Oops. And again, we're going to take the little drag arrow here and we're going to drag it over to where it needs to. There. Okay, and then we're going to do the same for this one here. So add router to this one, click on this one, and we're going to put it here, same thing. Then we can drag it all the way over. Okay, so we'll zoom out. After we've done that, you can click on the little compass here on the left-hand side, go down to the binoculars, and we'll zoom in just so I can show you. You can click on any of the sprinklers or any of the stations, and it will tell you what hole, what area, and you can also have a certain run time for each station. If you right-click on each station, you can go over to device data, and this will bring up more information about that exact station. So here you can change the runtime also. The rotor data is here, so it tells you the rotor type, the nozzle, and by clicking on this, you can actually, it'll bring up the chart and you can change them from here. If you do change the sprinkler and the nozzle type from here, it will automatically change them on the database. That concludes our animation and map detailing. On our next video, we will be talking about the flow rates and how to put these sprinklers into action.